Okay. Yeah, and like I said, the super late announcement is on me. Um, my only
Well,
excuse is the chaotic weeks you already heard about.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We
yeah,
all are in there's a lot going on.
There
yeah,
sure is. There sure is. Like,
We're just making do.
yeah.
exactly.
So,
So hello.
nice.
Anybody that's
Oh
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
join us?
Hey.
I realize I should update the description. We're just chilling here. Let's see.
I just realized that my knitting, you probably can't see here, matches my couch.
Oh yeah, it does.
Nice. Only coordinated projects allowed.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no, I have to leave.
you're on thin ice, Huck. No.
Oh no. All right.
This takes me so much longer than it should just to like get to the editing.
Well, while Kara's doing that, what are you working on, Huck? Because I don't know if I know your current project.
Oh yeah, I don't remember if I was working on this last time because it's just kind of like a little side project, so I'm not like making quick progress on it. I'm doing like a little faux turtleneck to go with the like kind of reddish orange sweater that I made last year. Because I just have like an extra ball of the yarn, so I was like, may as well make one of these. My like main project that I'm not working on today, but I can't work on it because I ran out of yarn. Because I actually took apart a previous project that I didn't like, and I'm reusing the yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I probably wouldn't have enough, but I am making a sweater out of this like green yarn
Pretty.
that was I don't know if you remember that I had one that was like green. The body was green, and then the sleeve had like stripes. And I never wore it. I didn't like it, so I'm redoing this, but I need to get like a little bit more yarn. But this one, I know this isn't what I'm working on, but it's the most interesting one. But fun. I learned how to read a lace chart. Uh, so
Yeah.
it has lace, which
So
Nice.
fun! It's
with
pretty.
varying degrees of success. One of my sleeves looks nicer than the other, but I don't think it's so obvious that I am going to redo it.
Yeah.
Because I kind of messed up the counting at one point and then sort of fudged it for a few rounds until I figured it out. But actually, this is something I'm trying to decide if you want to give an opinion. So obviously, like this is a sleeve, it's gonna go like this. I'm doing a bottom up sweater, so it's weird. But so I could just leave it solid like this. This is how the pattern goes. I am considering doing some duplicate stitching on like certain parts of the lace to like add a little color. And
Yeah.
so I have a little example. This isn't totally what it would look like. I was just testing colors, but I don't know how well you can see this. But so for these like lines, I would do this darker
Pretty.
and then put like little red on the little diamonds that are on the inside. I'm not sure how clearly this is coming. But do you think I should leave it just like plain lace or should I do like a little bit of color?
I really like how it looks with the duplicate stitching. If you're thinking it might look too busy, you could always just alternate, like space it out more, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe have fewer panels that have the duplicate stitching if you think that would look okay. But I like it. I
Mm-hmm.
like the color.
Mhm.
Mm.
Well, I think it's interesting. I don't know. I did watch your video though, and I thought in the video you said that even though you like color work doing it, that you don't like to wear things multiple colors. Will you wear it?
I don't know.
Callie is fact checking you with your own.
Hold me accountable for the things I say. But
Do as I, say, or do as I do, not as
yeah,
I
I'm gonna do what I want.
Okay.
But to some extent, I just also feel like this color is like very very limey.
Mhm.
And so breaking it up a little bit might be good. I don't know. I also am thinking of altering the pattern in a weird way that I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work, but I kind of want to do it. Because it's a bottom up raglan, which is very weird to me. I've never done that before. But I don't know if because of the color, like I like the color, but it also is a color that I'm like, I think that there can be too much of a good thing with this specific green. And so I don't know if I want just like a full, like crew neck design. And I kind of want like a square neck. And so I'm like, can I turn a bottom up raglan sweater into a square neck design?
That seems like a big jump.
Yeah.
I
have a plan though, and I feel like I could do it.
You are like incredibly good at like improvising good patterns. So
we'll see. The thing is, I will put in a lifeline and then I will see if it works, and if it doesn't, I'll just rip it out.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that, but you do alter things already.
Yeah.
Like, so
it's kind of my MO, so I might just do it and hope for the best. But also like if it doesn't work, I don't mind as long as I put in a lifeline so that I can like go back and not lose all of my progress. I don't mind ripping it out, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just make it normal.
Yeah.
But I have an idea.
An experiment. Yes.
Yeah.
Like I was just like thinking the other day, I'm like, I'm never gonna do a bottom up sweater because it just seems like
it's annoying
hard to like if to make adjustments because you can't like necessarily try it on like you can top down.
Yeah. I don't like it so far. I mean, it's not like terrible, but not a fan.
You're like, there's a reason I don't do this.
Yeah. It's much harder to figure out sizing and like I always have a problem with like where do I split for sleeves for the yoke, because a lot of times I am like right at the size where it starts their size grading starts to degrade, and they're just like, we don't understand what happens after this point. It's too big.
Like, no man's land. Who can say? Like,
right? They're like, well, after a certain point, it's just like the sizing goes like, well, if your bust measurement gets bigger, obviously your arms equally grow in size. And I'm like, that's not how that works.
That's not. It's not true.
Right. Like, what are you talking about? Anyways, so a lot of times I have to split for sleeves in the yoke earlier than it says. Otherwise, I end up with like the armpits of the sweater down at my waist. But it's much harder to gauge that with a bottom-up sweater.
Yeah. That's what so I am doing a sweater and I'm taking a class because I had started a sweater before. I started the one you had told me about, the warm-up sweater, right? And doing the video, but there was still stuff I had questions about that I'm like, I need to ask a real person this like question. And so I'm taking this class and the lady is kind of like you, where she's just like, I'm just gonna like do things. So she's doing the same sweater as us, but she's like added a cable, and then she's like, oh, and like, you know, she's got a bigger bust, so she's like, well, I put short row shaping actually like on the armpit area. And I'm like, what? And I was like, that's like a thing you can do. And like, it's to make it so that it's, and then like she has slight increases. She'll like add some increases just on the bust. So she goes by her upper bust measurement, but then adds some increases right at the bust and does that short row shaping and stuff like that. So I'm just like fascinated by all the things that you're doing to this sweater that I have no idea how you come up with that.
Doesn't exactly seem like super beginner friendly, like it's supposed to. Like,
right?
Yeah. And I'm not doing all the things she is because I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make it from a size, and it might be too big because I also have like a bigger chest than like the rest of my, like I often, if I size to my chest, then everything else is too big. So I think I would eventually want to be able to do some of those tricks so that I could go by my upper bust measurement. But I'm like, that seems like a lot to do right now. But
also, it's a lot to learn at once.
Yeah, but also it's like unless you're making a really fitted sweater, like if the sizing's a little off, but you
Mhm.
have like an oversized sweater, it doesn't really matter that much. So especially for a first one, it makes sense to just kind of be like, we're just gonna plow ahead and
Yeah.
it'll fit, you know?
And I
It
could
might be a
see,
little bigger, a little smaller than I thought.
I just don't like, for me as like a petiter person other than my
Mhm.
chest, I think that the things that I would do right now is like make it shorter or like shorten the sleeves. Cause I think when I buy a commercial sweater and the sleeves are like down here, because
Mhm.
then it feels like I'm a little like a child wearing adult clothing. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that kind of stuff I can easily adjust. So even if it is a little boxier in the body, at least like if the sleeves aren't 3 inches too long, it's not gonna feel
Right.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw somebody that it was so interesting that somebody who had made a sweater that then they were like, "Oh, it's short. It's too short in the front because like their bust was kind of like, you know, making it like taking up space and like pushing it out." And so they opened up the front and essentially knit short rows to like put a gusset in.
Yeah.
And I just was like, that I hadn't thought about doing that.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
there's all these
also
things to do to like
yeah.
edit for a chest, and I'm like, oh, I want to learn these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other day I was just thinking like, do I need to put short rows in the back at all? Because if I end up with the situation where the front is always shorter than the back
Mhm.
because of my bust, then like, why would I put the short rows in or in the back to lengthen the back if it's already going to be longer? That
Yeah.
doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. But I
Yeah.
could also add short rows in the front. That's interesting. Although it makes more sense to me when the short, because some patterns add short rows like at the back of the neck,
Mhm.
which changes where the collar is. Some add short rows in the body after the
Yeah.
yoke. And I'm like, that I don't need.
Well, and that's what this sweater that I'm making has the short rows after the yoke. And I'm going
Mhm.
to try it this time, but I agree that I think it makes more sense at the collar because for me, that's a sensory thing. Like I want it taller
Right.
in the back because I don't like things real close on the front. So
Mhm.
that makes sense that the short rows would make it so that you don't feel like you're being choked all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I want to at least try this. Like I figure if I'm doing this, I might as well do it by the pattern first and see like,
Yeah.
is this what I like going by the pattern, or is it going to be better for me to take out those short rows? Because, yeah, like my sweaters are always shorter in the front. Yeah, because of
Yeah.
so.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I did when I did my first sweater is I really was like, I'm just doing exactly what the pattern says. I'm not making any changes. And then I was like, okay, well, this is what I learned that I don't like about that. And
Mhm.
like after that, I started making changes to things. But especially for a first one, I think it makes sense to just like completely follow the pattern.
Right.
Um, and then you can
Especially
find
because
out.
like when I am like learning new knitting like techniques or like constructions, I think
Mhm.
that when you're just starting out with like a certain type of like garment or pattern, I think it can be hard to tell why certain things are in the pattern. Like it
Mhm.
might feel like, oh, there's no reason to do these increases because on paper it doesn't look like they do anything, but they actually do matter for whatever it is you're making, but you won't necessarily know that right away. Like at least that's been
Mhm.
my experience is like there's been multiple times where I'm like, this doesn't feel like it does anything, but I will trust that the pattern maker knew what they were doing. And then like at the end, I'm like, oh, it does
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah. Also, I think, at least for me, like when I was doing my first one, it was also like I was trying to learn how to read a pattern. And so it's like
Yeah.
the point of this is just to be able to like exactly follow what they're bless you, follow
But
what they're saying and
right.
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to like understand the different techniques,
Yeah.
like this one, I didn't even like, cause this is like, I had started that warm up sweater and I just made it to like, I don't know, a couple inches into the yoke. And then I, switched to doing this so I could do the class. And I'm like, even just the beginning part is so different. Like, as this one, they did a rapid increase where you did like you do the ribbing and
Mhm.
then you increase by like 35 stitches in one
Whoa.
row
Mm.
and then start your like raglan increases. And I was like, well, that did
That's
not happen in the other one.
yeah. I feel like maybe that's what I should do because I always feel like raglan increases take too long, and that's how you end up with such a deep yoke. And I'm like, I don't want a deep yoke. That's a good idea. Just do like 1 or 2 rounds of like a really intense increase, and then be like, and now we start the raglan.
Yeah, and it was like really interesting. It was kind of like where I would do like, and I did like a knit front to back. So it was like a knit front to back, 2 regular stitches, and knit front to back, 2 regular stitches, like the entire first row with the ribbing. And then it's like, oh, well, that makes sense, because then there'll be less of those raglan increases. And this is interesting. I'm also finding on this one, because the other one, is like all stockinette, which is fine. But I found like this one just has like, it's, I don't know, it's maybe easier to see on the picture of the pattern than on my actual thing. It's got a, I don't know if can you see the garter panel on
that's interesting.
Really cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
And it's just enough that like you're just going around and suddenly like, okay, now I'm going to purl for just like 14 stitches on each sleeve. And that's like just enough to not just feel like I'm just going around in a circle constantly knitting forever.
Forever and ever.
No, that's like the one I'm doing right now. I had a great time doing the lace, but after that it's just plain stockinette, and I'm like, this is so boring. Like, I'm so tired of this.
So it'll be interesting to like kind of pick maybe those things that just have like a little bit of detail to where you can still be a little mindless, but like every once in a while you're like, okay, now I gotta do something else.
In.
Yes,
yeah.
Which that's another thing that I feel like top-down sweaters lend themselves to better, is like having those little breaks from the monotony, where, because it's like, maybe you're doing the increases, or like you're doing an interesting panel on a sleeve or something. And it's not that you can't have those with bottom up, but I just feel like, I don't know, I don't think it would like pace out the interesting parts in a way that like I enjoyed as much.
Yeah, I don't like it.
How can you confirm? Like,
not a fan. I agree. I also didn't realize, this is the thing, I was so confused. I'm at the point where I'm gonna have to like attach the sleeve soon, and I was reading it and I was like, I don't understand what's happening here, because they have you bind off some of the stitches on the sleeves and on the body, and then like all of this, and like, what are you talking about? And then I was looking stuff up, and I found out that you leave, like, there's a hole in the armpit that you go back and sew up later. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, I guess I understand after watching a video about like how it works. I was like, okay, I get why you did that, I guess, because it would be hard. I was thinking it would be hard to do it in any other way, but it's very strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a tangent, but
no,
I'll just complain about bottom up sweater.
That's what we do here. We tangent.
Yeah. There's actually another pattern that I really want to make at some point that is also a bottom up sweater. And I was trying to be like, could I do it top down? Could I just read the pattern backwards and like do it however I want? But no, I can't, because it is color work and it has little speckles, and the speckles have to be going a certain way so that they look like little hearts instead of little arrows.
Yeah.
So
you can just carry around a mirror, like wear the sweater and just hold the mirror up. So
be like, no one's allowed to look directly at me. You can only look at me in this mirror that flips it upside down.
Yeah. People are like, are you like a cursed fairy? What is this? Like,
Yes.
May not approach directly.
I mean, honestly, that wouldn't be so bad. But yeah. So yes, that's technically that sweater is my like main project, but I need to buy more yarn. So what I'm working on is just this little like side project faux turtleneck that's gonna go with the other one. What are you guys working on?
Callie, you want to go?
Oh, well, I'm making that sweater.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can tell from the picture. It's a pretty simple sweater, but then just has that panel. But
and is yours gray?
Mine is this like, it's like a denim blue almost.
That's what. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty.
Yeah. The like color display on my laptop is horrific, so I cannot see colors correctly.
Yeah, it's like a dusty blue.
Your laptop is a little bit colorblind.
It is, and it makes it really hard to edit videos and pictures because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what this looks like.
Right, right. Like I'm guessing.
Yeah. Anyways, proceed. Sorry, we don't need to complain about my laptop.
Yeah, I don't have like my super interesting main projects are also on pause for various reasons. Mostly because like I just need to organize what I'm like focusing on and figure out if I also need to order more yarn. Which hopefully not, because I'm not even sure I'd be able to get it anymore. Which is on me. But yeah, so I do have pretty interesting garments that I am in the process of making, but as usual, I don't have them with me. So instead, I am working on a knit cotton dishcloth. I think I mentioned that like all of the ones that I use have like worn out at the same time, and this is like a nice little break project in between stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now. But I am very much hoping by our next sprint that I will have at least an update on one of the tops I'm making. I don't know if I'll be at a point where I can like work on it while talking, because some of them are more complex than others, but I promise there is knitting going to happen on those someday.
I don't believe you.
I know.
You deceived us.
I know. I'm a fake knitter fan.
You know what I want to do? This is not really related, but I was thinking the other day about making socks, because I really want to make my own socks, but I also don't like knitting a small circumference. And so I was like, can I knit a sock flat and then sew it up? And I was looking that up, and like apparently it's a thing, but then they still are like putting the heel in as you're knitting it flat, and I'm like, that's weird. I want to do an afterthought heel but knit flat. Like you knit flat and then add an afterthought heel after.
Yeah. I have definitely seen, like, I think it's going to be a more specialized pattern, but I have definitely seen ones where it's like they're like, oh, this is kind of funky and fun because you like knit it flat and then sew it up. Like, so they definitely exist. I don't know about. Yeah,
I've seen some patterns for knitting flat socks, but none of them are exactly what I'm imagining. And so I'm like, I don't know if maybe I should just try and see what happens. The other thing is, really, I want to knit like knee-high socks, because my problem is always that if I wear like normal height socks that are like calf height or whatever, they always fall down. And so I'm like, I want knee-high socks not to wear in such a way that you would even know they were knee-high, but just in such a way that it would keep them up. They would, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my...
You're going to be knitting garters. Like...
a set? No, well, they're not...
Little sock suspenders.
Garters are separate from tall socks. That's not the same. Yeah, I'm just saying I want tall socks.
I was just joking to like hold
I know.
Please.
I know. I was thinking maybe that's really what I should do, is get like garters.
Almost lost my stitches. Okay.
That would be very silly of me, but
yeah.
I think like I need to look in some of my pattern books, because I know I have seen patterns like what you're talking about. I don't know for sure how, like, I don't remember what the heel construction is like, so it might still be not quite what you're looking for, but I at least want to see.
I mean, if you find something, I would love to know. I'm open to suggestions.
I know I've seen those.
The thing is, so I have an idea of how I would do this. However, what I'm imagining, I think, would be I am not sure how to do it in such a way that you wouldn't end up with two like uncomfortable seams on the inside, you know?
Right.
Especially around the heel, because I can imagine how to leave a gap in order to put an afterthought heel, but that would require binding off some stitches and then you would have to pick those stitches up later, which would maybe make a bump, and that is not ideal.
Yeah. I wonder if it's one of those constructions for socks where like you need like weirdly specific like parameters, like measurement, like because I'm thinking there's some heel designs I have like come across where I just skip them. I'm like, I know I can't do this because like I have a really high arch in my feet, and like is it like Fish Lips Kiss heel or something like that? Where
What is that?
Yeah, I don't know because I've never used it. But,
I've never heard of that.
I know that that's supposed to be like a much easier heel that like is good for especially people who don't like doing heels or
now
are
I
wanting
have to
kinda
Google
ease
what this
into
looks
it.
like. What does this even look like?
But that's the one I'm pretty sure where it's like, oh, this is only really good if you like don't have much arch like definition in your feet. And I'm like, nope, can't do that. So I don't know if the thing you're talking about would be affected by any of that, but it's something to keep in mind, maybe.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to I mean, I looked it up. I'm gonna have to like watch a video later of like what does that mean.
Yeah, it's like also such a funny name. Like you kiss, like
well, that's the thing is this is like, you know, maybe I should I've never like gotten like a knitting book or something, and every once in a while I'm like, maybe I should, because really what I want is except that really I just want to watch people do videos of how to do the techniques. I don't really want to read about it. But I want just like a list of like, here are all of the different ways you can do a heel. Here are all of the different ways you can do a short row. Like, I just want someone to make me a list so that I can see what all the options are. And I've tried to Google it, and it's usually just like, here's the one way I do it. And I'm like, you're not helping me.
Like, I want to use it. There's gotta be someone out there that.
Yeah,
like,
there are.
So like I have seen technical, or not, I guess not technical, but like I've seen books like that. The only thing is that for the ones I have come across have all been like, here's 100 different ways to cast on, or like here's like 50 different ways to do short rows. So it's like they would be like focusing on a specific part rather than like a giant book on all the ways to do everything.
Yeah, like I just want like maybe I should look up like knitting dictionary or something, or like
yeah, that's true. Or like I
more
actually
like
have looked, there's a couple of like knitting stitch dictionaries that are kind of cool looking, where it's like more like pattern focused. Pattern is in like the pattern of the stitches, not like they give you patterns for like whole garments.
Right.
And those have looked really interesting to me, where it's like, okay, so if you're working on a project and you're like, I want to add like a little something to the like cuff or like to like the bottom of the sweater, and you can like look through and be like, oh, I like how that looks. How would I, like, what number of stitches, like what multiple would I need? How would I do that? So
yeah,
that does look cool.
I want to learn how to do like a scalloped edge, because I know how to do it in crochet, and like I could just crochet a scalloped edge onto something, but I would like to know how to do it in knitting also, because I think that would be cool.
Yeah,
I have a sweater.
I've done that on a couple things, and I like how it looks.
Yeah. I have a sweater that I bought at a store a long time ago that I really like, that has like, it has scalloped edge like around the bottom and around like the collar. It has like a V-neck, and it's like scalloped, and then like little scalloping around the cuffs, and like it's so cute and I like it. I don't love the color of the sweater, but I love the design of it, so like I still have it. I don't wear it that much because I don't love the color that much. But I could do it myself in my own the other day. Also, I was like, I think the next thing I should, if I'm doing like textiles, you know, the next thing I should learn how to do, that's not like a knitting thing, is how to upholster furniture.
Wow.
Well, now we're learning a whole new hobby.
It's gonna like future like craft spritz hucks like, and then I learned how to build a house, and I decided like
no, but because there's so often that I see furniture that I'm like, I love the shape of this chair. It doesn't come in any good colors. And I would love to be able to get like a piece of furniture that I'm like, this is a really cool piece of furniture. I don't like any of the color options, but I'll just reupholster it myself with the fabric that I like, which is essentially my motivation for all of the crafts that I do, is that I'm like,
Yes.
I like the idea, but not the execution. So I'm going to do it myself.
Yep.
You could probably upholster yourself like a simple
Yeah, people
chair,
for sure do.
chair kind of thing.
I'm not going to do like a couch, probably. That's too much.
no. I think that would be hard.
I for sure could do like a stool, a chair, like, you know. People
Now you
do
just
that.
need like you basically just need a power stapler.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, people for sure do that. Like who, especially people who like do thrift flips and stuff. I'm like, I could do that. So I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon, but someday I'm like, that's the next frontier for me is upholstering furniture.
there you go.
Crochet to knit to upholstery pipeline.
Yeah. Well, the next time I get on like a, home decor jag, that's what will
Right,
happen.
right.
Instead of buying stuff, I'll just be like, I will upholster things.
Yeah.
Because also I do plan at some point, I've seen some very cool like crochet tapestry patterns. So you like I for sure am gonna do that at some point. Because finding wall decor, I don't know why, but I can never find like things to put on my walls that I like. And so I was like, if I could make my own tapestries, also because so often what I want is something that has texture to it, not like
Yeah.
just like a print of something.
Right.
And I was like, I could make my own tapestries and that would be so cool. But I don't want to like embroider them because that takes too long. Crochet would be fast enough that I would be okay with it, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm
It's just like, it's like, and you're like redecorating, and you're like, I guess I'll make my own tapestry. Like,
yes.
maybe I need to build my own bookcase. Like,
Hey, I've been watching people do like rug hooking and being like, I could make my own rug. Like, I get to like, I could probably do that.
You could definitely rug hook.
Yeah, right? I love the ones where people do rugs that look like mossy rocks. I'm just like, that looks so fun.
that's very hut coated. That makes sense.
Yes.
To me. Like,
Yes, exactly.
The thing is, I have tried so many of these crafts, and then like I started a project. I have started a rug for like 15 years ago, and it's just sitting in a bag of like, made about
That's a different problem.
10 inches of that rug hook, and then I was like, oh, on to learning how to embroider, and then like do like half of an embroidery thing. And I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna learn how to like cross stitch and make like this, and all of these things are not finished.
yeah. I guess I tend to be like a deep focus on one craft kind of person, like, because it wasn't until I used to jump around more, but that was before I think I found out how much I love knitting, and like how much I love specifically like learning how to do all these different things through knitting. But sometimes I'm like, man, I feel like maybe I'm not living up to my full crafty potential, like I don't know.
I think that a lot of times I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle, that like I do tend to finish projects for the most part, but I rely very heavily on momentum.
Yeah.
So I'm not really like work a little bit for a long time. I'm like work obsessively for a short time.
Yeah. That's probably closer to what I do as well, most of the time.
Yeah. So like I will do lots of different, I don't do lots of different crafts at one time most of the time. I focus on one thing, but I will eventually move on from things usually. However, I don't know if I do wonder if I'm going to move on from knitting at some point or not, because part of it is not just the making things. Like I do just enjoy the process because it is very like soothing. I also think that may be part of why I have taken it up at this point, because it's a very stressful time and having something soothing to do is nice.
Yeah, and that like is so tangibly like good and like something that you've made and that you've worked on. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
like
Well, I think that's also like a real benefit of a lot of like creative, like crafty projects and stuff
yeah.
is like so much, especially like I feel like a lot of people's jobs, but especially like the job that I had where I was like a consultant, where I was like, at the end of the day, you're like, what did I do today? I made a PowerPoint. I don't have like anything tangible
Yeah.
to show for those 8
Yeah.
hours of that day. I sat in like 3 meetings and then I made a PowerPoint. And so
Right.
to like have a tangible thing is just I feel like it's just good for you mentally, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, aren't they always finding like with new like studies of like brain, I don't know what you would call it, brain activity, brain chemistry. It's that
Mhm.
that is a very specific thing that humans like need and like thrive off of, is like creating art or creating
Yeah.
like crafts and things, and like so
Yeah,
it makes
and
sense.
also knitting specifically and other like other creative hobbies that require that you're like using your hands and doing repetitive motions actually affect your brain very similarly to something like meditation.
Mhm.
So
That makes sense.
yeah. Did you guys watch the Olympics this year?
Yeah, parts of it.
No, like I very occasionally like saw how things were going. That was it, really.
Well, I don't know if you saw it this year, there were a lot of Olympians knitting and posting about
Mm.
it. So apparently, and like the whole, I think it was the Canadian biathlon team, which biathlon is where they like ski and then they shoot guns.
Yeah, I love the dance. It's my favorite winter sport. I don't know why. I'm not even somebody that likes guns, but it's like the
It's just funny to me that that's the
The
sport.
chaotic energy of
Yeah.
it is interesting. Like
Also because a triathlon is like you bike, you run, you swim. Biathlon, ski, guns. Like,
that is so funny because it's
how did you get there?
it's like they didn't want to think of like cold weather equivalents for like the triathlon, so they're like, I don't know, and they like spin a wheel and they're like guns. Like it's just weird.
Yeah. But so the Canadian biathlon team, like all of them were knitting. One of them was this guy who like I think he brought a sweater with him or something that his wife had made for him that was the have you seen the loon sweater?
No.
Okay, well, it's a sweater with loons on it. But so he had that, but then he was knitting his first sweater and he was doing the step-by-step sweater. And he was like, this is going to be my Olympic sweater because he started it at the beginning of the Olympics and he wants to finish it by the end. And like, it was a whole thing. Yeah. And I think there was a US like skier or something who I think got silver and attributed it to knitting because he said that it was like, you know, because it gives you that kind of like meditative rest when you're at this like kind of heightened state of like adrenaline when you're doing all of this like sports and training and stuff, and having that rest is really important. So anyways, I just found it very entertaining that there were like a bunch of athletes who were really into knitting this year.
Cool.
I think knitting is making a comeback in general.
Yes, I think so too. I mean, I think that part of it is because so many people are looking for analog hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they it was kind of
and
fun.
Everyone's very stressed. So sorry.
Yeah.
I obviously live in a place with a lot of snow, so the Olympics were kind of a big deal here, and we had I don't know if you watch curling, but
my dad does. He was like glued to the screen this year.
Okay, what is it about dad? My dad is like so into curling.
I don't get it.
What is it? It's such a dad sport. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Kylie.
Yeah, I've never watched curling until this year, but the U.S. mixed team, like the one that's like the guy and a girl, were from Duluth, and they won silver. So everybody was like watching it around here because we're like these are Duluthians that are at the Olympics. Like these are people living on top.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny though. I'm watching it, and all of a sudden I
Yeah.
didn't realize that like the woman, her husband, is my like IRA agent, or is that what it's called? Is that like
I
the
don't know.
your retirement plan? Isn't that what that's called?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
He's
an
like my
like a Roth IRA.
Yeah.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, so, like they showed a picture of her husband. I'm like, hey,
That's so funny.
that's like my investment guy.
That is so funny.
That's hilarious.
Sometimes I guess it is a small world. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they gotta be
also-
from
I've
somewhere.
heard, like, I
Yeah.
heard. Yeah, I heard about some of the like wackier things that happened during the Olympics, like the one of the, I think she was a skier, I'm not sure, but like her boyfriend or her partner like proposed to her, like, but okay, and specifically because if I just heard that by itself, I'd be like kind of stealing her thunder. Like she's at the Olympics, like leave her
Right.
alone, you know? But apparently she had always told him that she would love to be proposed to at the Olympics.
I
And I'm
heard
like,
that
"Oh,
too. Yeah, because a
I'm like,
lot of
I
people
guess-
were like, "What?" And then they were like, "No, she asked this to
Yeah,
happen."
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
I'm imagining her dropping hints as like, you should propose to me at the Olympics. Like, and then there was also, I don't remember what sport this guy was in, but like he used the Olympics to like talk to, like, this was like a national or international news interview, and he mentioned how he like cheated on his girlfriend
Yeah,
and how he regrets that, and like he was trying to use it as like this intense honesty to like try and get her back or whatever. And like I thought it was so funny, this like they talked about how they were able to reach the young woman in question for comment, and she said something like, he knows how I feel about it, or something like that. And I'm like, good for you, girl. Like, what
Yeah.
a way to make it about him and his feelings.
Did
like,
you see? So there was this free skier, I think, Eileen Gu. Did you hear about her?
Oh, I have, yes, I did.
Yeah,
know
so
about
like,
that.
okay. Because and like, did you see the interview where that guy asked her about like, do you see this as medals lost or medals gained or
Oh
something?
yeah, that. And her answer was like perfect.
Yeah, it was.
I
so
didn't
good.
see it. What did she
Oh,
say?
okay. So, well, I mean, people are generally up in arms because apparently she like skied for China, not for the US, and so like people are very upset about that. But she won, I think she got like 2 silver medals, and there was this guy who in one of the like, things where like all the reporters are asking questions.
Yeah,
He asked her, yes, I couldn't think of the word. This guy asked her like, do you see this as 2 silver medals gained or 2 gold medals lost? And she just fully laughed at him and then was just like, essentially was saying like, I think that's a ridiculous question.
Yeah.
Like, to medal at all is incredible, and like every time I medal, other people's expectations get higher, but the difficulty stays the same for me. And so continuing to medal is just as hard every time. And
Yeah.
also, she was like, I am literally like, I'm doing my best skiing. I am literally doing things that have never been done before.
Yeah.
I think that's more than enough.
Well,
Yeah.
and isn't she also the most decorated skiing medalist
Yeah.
of all time? Like,
Yeah.
of all
It just
time?
was such a crazy question.
And you're like,
Weird.
excuse me, sir, I am the elite. So
Yeah.
Like, let's see your man.
Like, I
medals,
think
sir.
I'm
Like,
good. Like, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
Um,
What a wild, like, the audacity of.
Yeah, but I do love it that she just like fully laughed at him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As she should.
Have you heard all of the drama about the hockey teams?
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess like I haven't been actively watching the Olympics, but I heard all the, the gossip in
Heard
the
all the
dirt.
gossip.
Is apparently what happened.
Yeah. But it is hilarious to me though that like Flava Flav, invited the women's team to party, which is so funny. Apparently he's extremely involved in promoting women's sports. I didn't know that this is like a life project for him, is like supporting
Good for Flavor
women's
Flav.
athletes.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, I didn't even know he was still around.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, so there's been a lot I mostly was watching the figure skating, and there was
Yep.
lots of like emotional ups and downs about that.
Mhm. My mom
Um,
has said, she's like, I think, whoa, excuse me as I drop something. My mom has said, she's like, I think it's so like beautiful and they're so talented, but I can't watch. It's too stressful. I feel so bad when someone like falls. And I'm like, yeah. Like it's like gymnastics. Like it's incredible to watch, but it's like also like I think all the time about like years back, one of the American girls gymnasts, I don't think it was Nastia Lukin, but it might have been that era. But like her mom in the stands, like you would always see that she's like this and like leaning forward. And I'm like, that's like emotionally what's happening here.
no, I think Ilya Malinin, the blonde guy, that everybody was like, "Oh, he's gonna win," you know, and they call him like the quad god.
Yeah.
Honestly, although I think he's the one who first started calling himself that, so I'm like,
Okay, sir.
There
If
are-
you nickname
first of all-
yourself, that's a little bit of a red flag. Like
there's so many things about him, which like, I mean, obviously he is an incredible skater. He also like was, you know, people talked about like incredible sportsmanship when, you know, he didn't win. Like that was great and all of that. However, also he was skating. Did you see that he was skating to, instead of music, his own spoken word poetry?
What?
Yeah.
I
And
actually
it
haven't watched
wasn't
his-
even like, and the poetry would be him being like, "You are not nothing, you are something," and I can't.
I haven't seen it yet because I've been watching it with my daughter, and she only basically wants to watch the women and sometimes the partners, but she
They're
doesn't.
most fun. The
Yeah, she
men's
doesn't
is
wanna
not that
watch them.
interesting. Yeah.
It's like they're because you know like this. She loves the dresses and like the movement.
Yeah.
And I
The
agree
women
too.
also generally do better like performance. The men seem to be more
Right.
like power move, power move, power move, and you're just like,
right,
okay.
right.
Yeah, it's about the
Yeah.
beauty of the
Cool.
sport as well.
Right. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
it just
there's-
is
there's more
hilarious to me
artistry. Yeah.
that his own
Oh
spoken
man.
word poetry.
Oh man. Like I just
However, as somebody who was homeschooled, I Googled, like, was Ilya homeschooled? Because that gives homeschooled boy vibes. Like, really? He
Yeah.
was not, apparently.
Oh really? Interesting.
He went to public school, so I don't know.
but he has the
it was-
energy.
He truly has the energy of a homeschool boy. But also, I mean, not to speak badly, because obviously he's doing amazing stuff.
Yeah. It's just in a funny way sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes, you know, it can be both. But I don't remember why I was talking about him. Because there was some other point I was going to make, but I don't remember what it was. But yes, but there was lots going on with the skating this year. The US had a really good skating team this year.
yeah.
Also, though, I don't remember this at all, but at the end, like after all of the skating competitions and everything, they have a gala exhibition, which is just people performing, and I didn't know that was a thing.
Like I didn't know about it until my mom mentioned it to me and I was like, that's really cool. I didn't know they did that. Like
I don't remember this ever happening. So I was like, where was I? And that was great because, like, there are a lot of people who, especially I think for the men, like their competition performance, not that interesting because they're doing amazing stuff, but not like they're not like very like lyrical, like the performance of it
the
for most of them.
yeah.
The artistry, yes. I mean, some of them did cool stuff, but most of them, it wasn't as much the artistry so much as like getting points.
Yeah.
But then when they're doing the exhibition, it's like no one's judging them, so they're just doing whatever, and it's much more fun and much like they're doing much like it's just much more interesting to watch. They have more of like a concept they're doing. And the guy who won gold for the men's, did you see this? Came out full Kung Fu Panda outfit.
No, I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Heard about it.
Recorded because I still have a lot of the Olympics recorded that I haven't watched yet, and I wonder.
Oh, I won't. Okay, never mind. Should I not spoil it?
No,
I don't mean
it's
to
fine.
spoil the
I don't really like
for
view
you.
it as like being spoiled. Like sports to me, I'm like, I don't know. I guess some people like feel like, oh, you don't want to know who won. I'm like, whatever. I
Right.
just want to watch their talent. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like the same. Like I obviously would respect like if somebody recorded it and they're like, don't tell me who won. Like I'm not gonna be like an asshole and be like, oh, I think that's dumb, so I'm gonna tell you.
Right.
But for me personally, I don't like it feels almost like fake to me to be like fake excitement, I guess. When it's like, but it's
Mhm.
already happened. Like the winner is out there, like in the world. You know?
Right.
It's like
They're
it's
among
not
us. Yeah.
right. Like it to me, it doesn't feel like real interest and engagement when it's like,
Yeah.
but I already know
Okay.
it happened. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, which
But
is
yeah,
like
well-
kind of a bummer because it means like when I'm watching, like especially like soccer games and stuff, it's like if I miss it when it's on, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not watching it.
Yeah. But yeah, but the exhibition was very fun because yeah, there was the one guy who did Kung Fu Panda. There was somebody that did something from K-pop Demon Hunter. There was someone, there was a pair, one of the pairs did like a video game, which the name of the video game has now escaped me because I don't pay attention to video games, so I don't remember the name. But they dressed up as video game characters and we're doing that thing where they go like this, you know?
Oh
They were,
yeah,
like fighting and stuff.
okay,
There
I
was
might need
one-
to look up some of this one.
Yeah, there was one girl who did what is it called, like the Cell Block Tango from
Yes!
Chicago,
Yeah,
and like involved other people in it. It was so
That-
fun.
awesome. That's awesome. I need to find out if this is something that they've always done and like they just never promoted it, which is a bummer because it's kind of
Yeah.
like I don't know. You could kind of argue that stereotypically this is what the Olympics should be about is like celebrating talent outside
Right.
of just the medaling, you know?
Right.
Or if maybe this is a relatively recent addition and that's why
I-
we don't know about it,
well,
but
my dad
I'm gonna
seemed to think that they
Google
had
it
done
right
this before because he was saying how it's gotten a lot like funnier because he was like it
Oh.
used to be much more serious, like you could only skate to classical music. It was like very serious, you know, and this is much more like they're being funny, they're referencing pop culture, they're, you know, dressing up in goofy costumes.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Yeah, it's not like immediately coming up from my cursory Google, but it looks like it has been around for a while. And it sounds
Yeah.
like it's like a thing just in skating competitions, like in general.
Yeah, I think so,
That's super cool.
especially for like
yeah.
the winner. I don't know if I don't really know that much about it. My impression is sometimes it might be like just winners get
Yeah,
to do
and
it.
I saw a reference like they were talking about like it started as like an exhibition for like the winners or for like the people who I guess did the best, and it's kind of evolved into more of like what it is now, where it's like a fun thing and like
Yeah.
everybody gets to just like do what they're really good at and do what they love and like not get points on it, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is the best part, honestly,
Yeah.
because they got to just like it is much more just like the artistry of it, and it's much more fun, and it's not like, oh, I have to do these highly specific things to like get points, but it's not that like fun to watch, you know?
Right. It's kind of like it's like with gymnastics, I feel like the floor routines for the women are always way more interesting. And on the one hand, it's like, I mean, like all double standards, it like hurts both ways because like it sucks that they're like, oh, men can't do like performance stuff, or that's not as impressive as just like the rote like doing flips and getting points and all of that. And it also puts a lot of like extra pressure on the women where it's like you have to be the same level of elite athlete and also make it look pretty, you know, like so it sucks in both ways. But I do feel like the female gymnast floor routines are almost always so much more interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because it is more of a routine, you know, like there is still the incredible athleticism, but it's like more of, like you said, more of like a performance. There's more artistry there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
so that was the the skating stuff. That was just interesting this year.
Yeah.
Have either of you read The Favorites? That's like about
No.
the ice skating. It's like a book that came out last year, I think, or 2 years ago. It's like about an ice dancing couple, and it's like supposed to be high drama and everything.
Ah.
No, I haven't.
And like I bought it, and I was gonna read it during the Olympics, but then I got reading other things, so I still want to read
Yeah.
it. But yeah, it's just like very dramatic romance, like fiction.
Yeah.
Mm.
Olympians.
I have been reading throughout February all of the Heated Rivalry series. So I was reading about ice hockey. And they do go to the Olympics at one point in that.
Well, of course.
Yeah. But yeah.
Ice skating, I mean, ballet is like this too, where it's like in everything else, I am like a reasonable human being, and I'm like, obviously, people performing like opposite each other are not necessarily like together or like romantically even interested in each other. But there are certain like ice skating routines or like ballet like couples like who dance together a lot, like they're paired dancers. There are certain times where I'm like, are you guys in love though? You seem like you're in love. Like, and it's like probably just really good performance. But for whatever reason, my like rational brain gets turned off for some of these like performances. I'm like, you are in love. Thank you.
This year, one of the pairs for skating, they're married.
I did know about that. Yeah.
They are together.
Yeah,
They are in love. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like one of the couples, like at the end, were like started kissing, and I was like, oh, okay, so you guys are like actually together.
Wait,
You're like, wow.
wait,
they're
was that
really
the married
committed to
couple
this
or a
bit.
different one?
I don't know if they're married or not because they have different last names, but that doesn't mean they're not married. I don't
Right.
know.
Interesting. Yeah. Also,
Like,
at the
wait,
final
the married ones are different.
well, because then it's much more interesting if it's
Right,
like,
that's
a different couple of like,
dramatic.
do you
Yeah.
like, is this a normal thing?
Yeah. Everybody kisses their best friends on the mouth. Like,
right.
I was trying to see if it says whether they're married or not. I don't know. They could just be like,
At the
together.
also at the exhibition, there were two couples where the guys were wearing independently, they were wearing essentially the exact same costume. And so there's a point where everybody's skating around on the ice. And I was so confused because I kept seeing the same guy with different partners. And I was like, what's happening? And then I realized the same person, two people were wearing the same outfit that I'm like, they really should have coordinated this better.
yeah, that's so funny because like that's happened before. I think like it's just so interesting because I guess it means that there's like very limited like suppliers of Olympic.
I thought that they were having these like custom made for them, which is why I was confused. And also, it's not like, oh, they were wearing like black pants, white shirt. It's like they had full burgundy outfit, like burgundy pants, top, sheer mesh tank top.
That's
like,
pretty specific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't seem off the rack. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, those ones we saw kissing, they were the Italian ice dancers, and they are not married, but they are together.
Okay.
Like they're a couple. They've been a couple like the whole time they've been dancing together because they
that's cute.
They started skating together in 2010. So they've been together for like 16 years as partners.
Wow,
and then started dating in 2009. So they've been dating the whole time. They've been partners.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So
I feel like that would make a good like romance book because there's such high stakes of like,
I know
it's really hard to find a good partner for like skating together. And so being like, could mess this up, and that's really hard to like find.
Yeah, I have owned for so long. I have owned From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata because like she's an author where like she's very popular, like especially with more like indie romance readers. Although I think she's getting more mainstream. but like sometimes I hear complaints from people where it's like, oh my god, her romances are like too slow burn though, and I'm like, amazing, give it to me.
So, like 500, 600 pages, right?
Right, and I'm like, I am ready. So I need to finally get around to reading it, but I have like had it for a while. I've been excited about it for so long, and that's what I'm hoping it gives me. So we'll see, but yeah,
well,
but it's an
let
ice
us
skating
know
one.
how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have been reading so much contemporary romance in February. I think I've read like 12 or 13 contemporary romances this month. And I'm just
Wow.
like, I need to stop because I like it's too much. I
Yeah.
get stressed out if I read too many books too quickly. And I'm like, this is stressing me out.
And romance books shouldn't be stressing you out, so just take a break.
But
Yeah.
also, like they're so addictive if they're good. This is the other thing is some of them were not as good. Like all of the, I had a very, I mean, obviously I like some more than others, but all of the Game Changer ones by Rachel Reed, who wrote Heated Rivalry, like hers are very fun. I read the whole Game Changer series. I also read the unrelated standalones and then like 6 short stories off of her blog.
Wow.
It was like, and I've reread at least one of those books in the series. I'm debating whether I'm going to reread another one. But then I also read a different contemporary romance series, and I was like, this is not as good. But I'm also still reading the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have only read one romance, I think, this month because I had a plan to read more for, February, Valentine's Day, whatever. And the first one I read had too much like sad stuff in it. And I'm like, well, now I'm like depressed and this is not
You're
giving
like,
me
this is not the vibe I signed up for.
Yeah. I should have picked something else that didn't have, it wasn't like grief. It was more like past relationship issues. There was some grief, but like, it was like people definitely growing, which is fine. But I'm like, I also just really wanted like cutesy, light fun. And I probably picked the wrong thing.
Wait, what was it? Which book?
It was called Heartbreak Hotel, which should have probably
maybe tipped you off.
Except, isn't that like a song too? So that's what I would think of.
It was
I wouldn't necessarily think it was,
And the concept, I mean, I guess it makes sense that it would have a lot of these like kind of issues. Like the concept is she gets broken up with from her like long-term boyfriend and she can't afford the house they've been renting by herself because he made a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And so she talks to her landlord about like turning it into a hotel, like an Airbnb type of thing. And then she gets the idea because she's like training to be a therapist that it would be like a heartbreak hotel where people would come to get over breakups and that they would do like some kind of mild therapy sessions, kind of like group, like helping each other or healing hikes and stuff like that. And so I guess I thought there would be some of that, but I didn't know it would be like so much of it is just like therapy.
Yeah.
I'm wondering like in real life how that would work with like permissions and like licenses. Like could you do that? Could you do a little a la carte therapy for people?
Yeah.
I think if you had licensed therapists, like I don't like as long as the therapists are licensed and they're like following all of the rules of what they're supposed to do. Right. I don't see why not. If people all want to go to one place to have therapy.
Yeah, I don't know that she was like necessarily advertising either of it being like actual therapy or more like help get over and like have other people help you instead of it being like officially like
like a program or
more like a support group.
I think
or something.
Also, what's that?
Oh, I was just saying more like a support group or something.
Yeah, right. I think, and another thing that I need to like remind myself is like there are people who like do benefit a lot from like therapy exercises or therapy in the short term. Like like that hasn't lined up completely with my experience, and that doesn't mean that it's like wrong or that other people can't get like I know actually that there are I think therapists who like specialize in that sort of thing, like I don't know what they call it, but it's like short-term sort of help or assistance. But
so and maybe like getting over a breakup if you're like just like needing to be with other people that also are getting over breakups, so you can complain and commiserate together and not like because sometimes when you complain to your like friend that is like in a happy relationship, you don't feel like you're really getting that venting time. So maybe it's more like
Right.
a chance to like just
Mhm.
vent and be open about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that makes sense.
But it was a little too much of that and not enough like
Yeah.
romance, because there is a romance in it, but I didn't feel like there was enough of that to be a romance. It just felt more like women's fiction, which I hate that like title, but like that's what it felt like. We're just following women learning to love
Yeah.
themselves, basically. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that setup when it's, but like it should be clear that's what you're getting, you know? Like I
Yeah.
think that's the reason a lot of people are disappointed in like romance or more like women's fiction type, is because if you wanted the other thing, you're gonna be disappointed. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
and I think if I
Mm.
hadn't like read it purposely to like, because the romance did
Yeah.
sound cute, but then it's like, well, if I known that was more like the back burner and like that's not the
Yeah.
actual focus.
Yep.
Yeah. Did we want to take a break?
Yes, I was actually just gonna suggest that.
All right.
Our little sort of reading sprint, kind of whatever sprint.
I'm gonna eat a snack.
Yes, I also probably need to eat something. Should we say half an hour or a little longer? What are we thinking?
Half an hour is fine for me.
Okay, so we're gonna do a sprint until 45, like until the clock is at 45. Sound good?
Okay.
Or what, Kelly? What do you think?
No, that's fine with me.
Okay, I am going to put it on, and we will be back in about half an hour.
All right.
Right.
Sounds good.
Hello.
Hello. I had to unmute myself.
Yeah.
Didn't want to like just sit here and be like breathing.
Yeah, no, I would have probably muted myself too.
All right. I don't know how long you knit in a row, but I like needed that break. Like my hands like just get where I'm like, ugh, I just need to take a break from knitting.
Yeah, no, that definitely. I think sometimes it's my hands. A lot of times it's more that my elbow starts to hurt. It's either my elbow or it's like my pinky finger on my right hand because I'm like gripping the needle to like stabilize it,
Oh.
and like that starts to hurt. But yeah, taking a break. I also
Hello.
Whoa.
Sorry.
That was just
Sorry
loud.
for being, Sorry for being a bad host, everybody. What were you talking about?
Oh, we were talking about like taking breaks from knitting and like if your hands start to hurt and
Yeah, I definitely have noticed that for me as well. So it was probably good to have a bit of a break.
yeah.
This is the worst angle, and we're just going to accept it.
I was saying a lot of times what starts to hurt is my elbow, and like I think I told you about there was one time I like gave myself tennis elbow from knitting, and I was like I wasn't even playing tennis. But
Yeah, it makes me curious if like what kind of a chair are you sitting in? Like that you don't have your elbow propped or what?
Most of the time I'm sitting on my bed.
Okay.
But yeah, no, but I've had to like figure out like how to sit to support my elbow, because I did get an actual pillow, like one of those like crafting pillows. It's like a semicircle to like rest your elbows, but I'm kind of so about it. What I've actually found works the best, which this is probably not good for my back.
Oh no.
But it has not caused a problem yet, and honestly I kind of sit this way anyway, is that I sit on my bed cross-legged, like, and then I kind of lean forward and rest my elbows on my knees, and so that stabilizes my elbow so I'm not like stressing it so much, I guess. And that's much more comfortable.
Interesting.
But it's not a position I would recommend necessarily, because it's probably really bad for you. But also, most of the way that I sit most of the time is probably not good for you.
Yeah. So consistency, if nothing else, you know. Like,
yeah. Well, honestly, I find sitting in chairs very uncomfortable in general.
Me too.
And sitting normally with just like feet on the ground, I'm just like, this is horrific.
Like
I hate this.
Yeah. Yeah. I always pull my legs up when I sit.
Yeah.
So like I'm sitting like cross-legged. And that greatly affects what my preferred seating arrangements or like chairs are like. Or there's been like dresses that like I guess were just not prepared for adults to move their legs, because like I'm pretty sure that I ruined one of the seams or something, and it's like it's probably my fault because I sit like this, but also like I wasn't doing anything like unreasonable. I wasn't doing like marathons.
Yeah. No, the thing that's always hard for me is finding like a good desk chair, because I'm like, this is a scenario. I mean, when I was working from home, I did often either sit on the couch or just lie on the floor, because I'm like, no one can see me.
Yeah. I don't need to know.
But if I was, especially if I'm in a meeting, or sometimes I am just like sitting in a chair would probably help me focus. But I'm like, I need a good desk chair where I can sit cross-legged, and it just like it's hard to find something that like, works for that.
Yeah, it's like they believe like once you enter adulthood, no more cross legs for you ever. Like you are grown now.
I pretty much always sit with at least one leg up, you know, like crossed under me. Like right now, that's what I'm doing. I have like one leg is like crossed and the other one isn't, and that's why I'm kind of leaning to one side.
Yeah. I have to actually sit like a normal person in this chair, but I do have my like feet braced on like the rolly part of the rolly chair, so I'm still kind of not really sitting with my feet on the ground. So,
well, yeah. I mean, I also do. Yeah, like if I have to,
if I must,
if I have to sit in a chair, yeah, a lot of times what I will do is have like a footstool so that my knees are really in a way that I'm like, this is incredibly not ergonomic. Your knees, like the best way to sit is your hips above your knees. And I'm like, no, knees above hips. Like I need to have like my knees up.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like that doesn't make any sense. And it's not, I already have back problems. I do not need more.
I have a standing desk because I can't sit that long. So
I did that for a while.
I stand the majority of the day at work, and then I will sit on occasion. But because I have a standing desk and it's tall, mine doesn't move; it just stays tall. So I have like basically a stool, like a tall stool that I sit on with my feet on. There's like a bar under my desk, so I'm like basically sitting on a tall stool with my feet on a if I'm sitting. So I get it.
Yeah, I should get a standing desk because I did do that I didn't actually have a standing desk. I put my laptop on top of a dresser, but it was the same function because there was a point where like a couple years ago, like I hurt my back and I could not sit in a chair for like periods of time. And so I had to have a standing desk, but I find it really hard to concentrate.
Me too. Yeah.
Like standing desks. So usually what I did, since at the time I still was working from home, I would like, if I was in a meeting, I would be stand because that's a level of concentration that's like fine. But if I had to like really like think deeply about something and like you're like, okay, we're like really building out an idea here, I would like lie down on the floor because it just was like, these are my two modes, is standing and lying on the floor.
Yeah. Nothing in between.
Nothing in between.
Yeah, I do a lot of times like because a lot of my work is also work from home, and so when I am working from home, I'm like on my laptop the vast majority of the time, obviously, and like a lot of times I'll lay down and I like prop up my knees so like my laptop's tilted and I'm like laying down like this. And that's another thing, I'm like, it's probably a lot of chiropractors who are in physical pain hearing that, but like I got to like this, and it feels better on my back. So I also, maybe this is wishful thinking, but I also feel like there is a component of, you know, like ergonomics and like taking care of your body and stuff that is like just recognizing that what might feel good to you might not be what feels good to someone else, and that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong, you know. I hope. But
yeah, I think there are some cases where it's like in the moment it feels good, but it may also be doing long-term damage.
Right, which is not what I mean.
Yeah. But I also a little bit accept like, you know, that's just how it's going to be, because I just sitting normally in a chair is just so deeply uncomfortable to me.
Yeah.
So are you still reading contemporary romance, Huck, or are you taking a break and moving on to something else for a little bit?
So for the moment, I am thinking I am taking a break. However, there is one of the ones I read this month, I kind of want to reread it, which I'm like, maybe, I don't know if this is too much, you know? And considering the fact that most of the time, first of all, I only started reading contemporary romance a couple of years ago, and most of the time, like once a year, I am in the mood for contemporary romance and I read like 3 or 4 and then I'm done for the year. And so I'm just like, well, I'm not really sure what's happening right now.
In a zone.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think I'm done for now, but we shall see. I think also a lot of times for me, it is like, just did I find an author or a series that I like? And that's really what determines. Because I have a really hard time finding contemporary romance that I like. Because so much of it, like, So not, and like I'm not trying to say that it's not good, but like a lot of it to me and what I like, it just feels very goofy. Like I just feel like a
Yeah.
lot of contemporary romance, it's like these people don't have real problems. It's all just like she's too type A and he rides a motorcycle. And you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, these aren't real problems. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
actually like creating any tension or issues for you guys. You're just both ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just feel like a lot of times there's a goofiness to it, or things move too fast, or like there isn't like the I don't I don't know. There's like I have a hard time really defining what it is that makes a contemporary romance one that like really works for me, and so then it's hard to find things because I just like can't figure that out. I don't know.
I find for me personally, like a lot of tropes that I like in romantic
Mhm.
relationships and stories do not translate at all well to a contemporary setting. I think
Uh,
I'm almost positive we've talked about this in a previous script,
yeah.
but it's like I am a hate to love defender when it is done well, which it very often is not.
Mhm.
But it's a trope I really enjoy when it is executed well. And I feel like genres that are less connected to like the real world have a lot better chance of working for me.
Mhm.
Whereas like like I can read like a fantasy book and someone does some like truly messed up things that they then have to like make up for and atone for, but like I can buy into that character arc if it's done
Mhm.
effectively. Whereas like contemporary romance, a man like criticizes what a woman's wearing one time and I'm like, dead to me, like get out of here, like red flags everywhere,
Yeah.
no. Like I
Yeah.
just don't like it. Or like stuff where like it's we're supposed to be at the beginning of the romance arc and like the character arc, so like we're supposed to be fine with it, but it's like he does something that like impedes her work or like makes her look bad in front of people that she has a professional relationship with, and I'm like,
Mhm.
no, dead to me, no. Like get out of here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I can see that. I feel like a lot of the tropes that I really like don't necessarily like I don't really like hate to love or enemies to lovers, or like I don't really care about that much. So like the
it's
tropes that
often
I'm
garbage, so that's fine. Like
yeah.
sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's amazing,
Well,
and yeah.
heated rivalry is rivals to lovers, so there's that. But
Okay.
that's also why it was of the series, heated rivalry is like the second book. But I'm like I understand why this is the one that became a TV show. It's on the spectrum of them, it's like the middle for me. It's not my there are other ones that are more favorite for me, but that's because they're doing tropes that I'm much more into, you know, that I'm much
Yeah.
more like, this is fun, I'm invested.
Yeah.
And also because there's more build up. A lot of the books in that series do the premise of like they start sleeping together and then catch feelings. And I'm like,
See,
this is not the vibe for me.
that's another thing. Like, I don't find that interesting at all either. So, like, yeah, there's a lot. I don't know. I guess other genres lend themselves more to slow burn, which is
Yeah.
like
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't even say slow burn is a trope I like. I'm saying like I think the only romances I like have some element of that. But
yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah, and
I recent oh go ahead.
I was gonna say I agree though, but like because I don't do too well with hate to love, like you said, in contemporary, because I'm like, oh no, you're just being a jerk. Where
right,
Mhm.
in like fantasy, I'm like, well, she's a witch, and you've been raised to know that witches are
exactly.
evil, and like you just have to learn that witches aren't evil, but that's
Yeah.
not your fault as a human being. That's just like the culture you're
Yeah.
in. Not that you're
Exactly.
just like a jerk treating somebody
Right.
else.
Exactly.
I also have found that like sometimes when I'm looking for a specific trope, I'm like the only recommendations that I find are for historical romance, and I don't really like historical romance. Like maybe one day I'll get into it, but today's not the day. And like recently, I think I made a video about that. I was like, I've found this trope or like a name for a trope that I've loved for a long time. It's a starchy hero.
Yes.
And I was trying so hard to like find recommendations online, and starchy hero is apparently very common in historical romance. I don't want I want a starchy hero in a contemporary romance or maybe a fantasy with a romantic subplot. But and like I have a few examples, which actually I need to like make a video of starchy heroes that I like, but it's hard to find like contemporary romance examples of that, because apparently that's very like historical romance coded.
which yeah, I don't like historical romance either. Like there have been one or two that I have really enjoyed, but they tend to be ones that are not like, I wouldn't say they're like capital R romance kind of thing. Because I cannot get over the power imbalance and like how icky that makes every single interaction feel. Like I have a very I don't know, very short fuse, I guess, for historical romances. And it's like, I don't care if historically speaking it was probably more likely that this man would treat this woman like property. Cool, that's historically accurate. I'm not going to stick around to like read him begin to realize she's a person. Like that's garbage. Like I just I love a good character arc, but I prefer ones where it's not like active bigotry that we are watching someone grow out of, or at least I don't know. It has to be handled so carefully if that is the case. And I just don't think a lot of books I have come across have done that.
I get that. I think for me, my issue with it is more similar to my kind of blanket issue with like why I don't really read like historical romance, fantasy romance, and if I'm reading like genre romance, I want contemporary romance, because if I'm in the mood to read genre romance, I'm like, I don't want anything else. Don't do world building. Don't try to have a plot. Don't like I just want the romance. And so contemporary romance is the most like no fluff. I mean, like obviously there has to be something going on around them to make sense, but it's like I don't care about the historical context. I don't need you to world build. I don't want any of this. I just want the romance. That's it. If I am like, I want to read a romance, you know?
I'm the opposite, but that's very interesting to me. Like I like
the opposite too.
It's like I like having other stuff going on. I mean, just in general, the romantic relationships that I love the most are almost always in books where it's not the main focus. Like there's other plot things happening, there's other like character development things happening. Like I think that's one reason why I almost never pick up contemporary romance, is because it's like, all right, well, if you don't sell me like 100% on this relationship, what am I here for? And because I am kind of picky about romances, it doesn't seem like great odds. But I think there's also something that's like more exciting to me about having romantic moments in between things that are not directly related to the romance. It's like a fun like anticipation where it's like, oh my gosh, like maybe the next time we'll have like a longer conversation. Amazing.
No, well, there's also like it's a very specific scenario though, because like I obviously read a lot of fantasy and I love fantasy that has a romance in it, and in that case it's like 80% other stuff, maybe 90% other stuff with just like a little sprinkle of romance, and I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, and I love that feeling of when you're just like, oh my god, did they look at each other longer than was necessary? Like that kind
of contact, you guys. Like
yeah, I love that. But in that case, to me, I'm like, I'm reading this for like the whole book and the whole experience, and the romance is a subplot to that, and I love those. I'm saying specifically, if I'm like, I am reading a romance, then all I want is the romance. Like those are two different experiences, you know? So like if I'm like, oh, I want to read like a genre romance, I don't want anything else. But also most of the stuff that I read is more like there's a lot else going on and there's just like a little bit of romance in there, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's a different mood, you know?
I think I understand.
Also,
Like,
oh, go ahead.
I think I understand what you mean because it's also like that why I don't necessarily like what is called romantasy, but I like fantasy with romance elements.
Yeah.
Is
Mhm.
that because when it's categorized as just romantasy, sometimes this isn't true, but sometimes it's like they don't put enough work into the world building and they're just putting
Mm.
a lot into the romance. Then
Yeah,
like
it's like two people are horny and one of them has wings. Like
yeah, and there's like
That's a
fantasy
different problem.
and like world building happening, but it's not like good world building. And then I'm like, well, then I have a problem. I want there to be good world building and romance if I'm going to be reading a fantasy romance. Like,
Yeah.
I need.
Well, yeah, I also am
gotta
like,
understand what's happening.
I think there, as someone who reads a lot of fantasy, I'm much more critical of a fantasy romance because, and also, I think that it's much easier in contemporary romance to just focus on the romance because I'm not like so hypercritical of like, what does that even mean? What are you talking
Mhm,
about? Like,
mhm.
but also, this is the thing actually, in terms of like fantasy romance not doing the world building. I also have like an opinion about this because I feel like I see a lot of recommendations for books that are like, this is, romantasy or fantasy romance for people who think they don't like romantasy. And their reasoning for it is always like, this is a romantasy that like the world building and the plot are actually really good. And I'm like, that's not my problem with romantasy. My problem with romantasy is not that the world building and plot is bad. My problem is that the character development and relationship development is shallow.
Mhm.
I would actually be, if it had really strong character development and a really great like relationship development that I could be fully invested in, I would be perfectly okay reading a romantasy that like the world building made no sense.
Yes.
if I could be super invested in the characters. My problem is that they do not get me invested in the characters and do not convince me of the relationship. And so I'm like, for a genre that is supposed to be about the characters and the relationships, what are you doing?
Yeah. I
So
agree.
anyways, for those recommendations, I'm just like, these will appeal to somebody, but for me specifically, you're not understanding what my problem in this situation is, but I'm probably the minority, so keep doing you.
No, like I mean I agree with that. Like I think that could be the source of some of my criticisms of like contemporary romance is because some of the ones that I have tried just
Mhm.
feel shallow, I guess, without like
Yeah.
it's not that you need like fantasy world building to anchor character development because you don't. But I do feel like sometimes I am missing sort of like I am missing things that showcase character development the way that like
Mhm.
other genres do. Um and like it's not that I think you have to have like big earth-shattering plot revelations in order to have good characters. Like I talk all the time about how I love just like ordinary people kind of characters.
Yeah.
I guess I just feel like the writing of those type of characters in contemporary romance, very generalizing here, but like that tends not to work for me nearly as well.
Yeah.
Like that specific matchup of genre and character type often just leaves me completely uninterested in the characters and in what's happening.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I will say a lot of the stuff I'm saying about romantasy is also very much a generalization. And, putting like all of the things, it's like I'm not
I
saying
know, no,
people
but that's what we're
can't
doing.
or shouldn't enjoy reading it like you do you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
No,
this
I
is my
know.
feelings about it.
I got
Well, and
you.
you
I
can't-
got you.
And an entire genre is not the same. Like, even though there are a lot of romantasy that have the same, there's different levels. Like, I would consider
For
like
sure.
Half a Soul to be like a romantasy,
Mhm.
like in terms of that it is a fantasy that like is very focused on the romance. But
Yeah, I also feel
Yeah.
like
is
the
different.
distinction between what is a fantasy romance versus romantasy, to
Yeah.
me, it's in terms of like content, same. In terms of tone and style, different.
Yeah.
That's to me the difference.
I also feel like one of the biggest differences I feel like I notice from people is like almost always when people are talking about romantasy, or I guess to a lesser extent fantasy romance, almost always they're talking about something that has a pretty high like steam level, which is fine. And I know a lot of people enjoy that. I don't find that interesting to read. Like, that's not what I go to books with romance for.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I tend to just ignore lists of like, oh, favorite romantasy, or like best romantasy, best relationships in romantasy, because it just most likely won't be the kind that I find most interesting, which again, overgeneralizing. But I feel like that's like a category distinction that people don't make outright. It's just something I feel like I've noticed, where somebody is saying like romantasy, usually that means like more smut than others.
Right. Yeah.
Which is not my preference. So
yeah. I think also, so, because I was thinking about with contemporary romance, that like the thing that always is, I think, most important to me in any romance, but particularly contemporary romance, if we're like putting such a focus on the romance, is that it has to, like, what is convincing to me is like, why are these two people for each other specifically? You know?
Yes.
And very often, kind of what answers that question for me is in some way, like, how is being with this person like healing to them in some way? Like, it just like heals a little part of their soul in some way, right?
Yeah. Or it makes them like more themselves in a way, like,
yeah, like it doesn't have to be like they had some horrible trauma, but there's something about them that they're like, other people didn't get this about me and this person gets, and that can be like kind of healing to them in some way. It doesn't have to be like traumatic.
Yeah.
And I think that something that I have found is that very often I like romances that have like wider like representation of people, especially people with like chronic illness or disability or neurodivergence or something like that, because very often those characters feel othered in some way. And so it is, and then part of the story is like how this person understands them and makes them feel like they are, like they belong or they're loved or something. And so kind of like, a lot of times that's the thing that I'm like, okay, if I can find ones that have like representation like this, it usually will have that component of like really being clear about why these two people are good for each other. I just, I don't know. There's something about it that I feel like, also, I just appreciate a romance that has, you know, representation in it, because that's great.
Yeah.
But I think that also specifically because it is less, like, it feels more like, it feels less like silly. It feels more like, yeah, meaningful. There is something that, right, it feels more meaningful because there is something that like in how our society is, they feel othered in some way, you know? And yeah, anyways, I'm just talking in circles at this point. You understand what I'm saying.
No, like I totally get it. And it's like, something I dislike in any genre that has like romance in it or anything, it's like something I really don't like is when there is such an overemphasis on how hot the other person is. Like, it's not right. Like, not that I don't know.
It's not a romance if the whole relationship is just like, you're pretty, I'm pretty, we should be pretty together. And it's like, that's not a romance.
Exactly. And like, I understand that some people might want stories that have that, but for me, it is not what I like in character development or relationship development. And it just, it's really frustrating. And I almost feel like it's gotten to the point where if I'm reading a synopsis of a book that is not like ostensibly romantasy, but clearly there is going to be a romance like component in it. If I'm reading a synopsis and like the adjectives used are mostly about like how brooding and attractive the other person is, I'm like, okay, this is probably not my vibe. Whereas if it's like the exact same setup for the story, but the description is talking about more about like who they are, or even like physical descriptions that are not like so hot, he literally so hot all the time, like it even just describing like
so hot all the time.
Yeah. Even just describing like hair color, or like they have like a scar on their face, like something like that. I don't mind being aware of what they look like, but I want to decide for myself if that's attractive, I guess. I don't know. It's just like, it's partly that, and partly just, I find it so boring to read about people obsessing over how hot somebody is. Like, I don't care how true it is. I don't want to be here for it. I don't need to be here for it. You've got this covered.
Yeah.
Also, one of the reasons I hated the Heart and Mercy book was like they were so fixated on how hot the other person is, and especially from the male point of view, it was like it really had the feeling of like he hated this woman's personality, so it was a shame she had such a hot ass. And I'm like, I don't like you. I don't want good things for you, Kelly. I'm so sorry. I think I cut you off.
No, it's fine. It's just like that is what bothers me when like I have to be picky about what romance is or even just plain romance, because if it's like the reason in romantasy or
sorry, I'm thinking something to myself and I just realized I was making faces.
Oh no, you're fine. When it's like, oh, it's gonna be hate to love, or somebody's about to like be killed by the other person, I'm like, if they're like, I know that person will kill me, but they're so hot, I have to have sex with them. I'm like, excuse me, that just I can't handle it, because I'm like, they will literally want to kill you if they knew that you were from this like group of people.
There's no coming back from that for me.
This is my problem with what was The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed?
Oh, there's I haven't read that one yet. And I want
God, no, where it's like the guy, like his people have been like oppressing and like kidnapping her people for like generations, and like the first time she sees him, she's just like, wow, he's so attractive. And then they're like, I don't know, I think he like kidnaps her and they're like riding on a horse, and she's like, wow, he's so hot. It's too bad that he is such a terrible person who's been murdering all of my people for so many generations, but also he's so close to me on this horse. And I was just like, I hate you immediately.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, like I can see it if it's like they both hate each other at the beginning and then they grow to find out that, oh, this culture is actually like a normal person and not like what I've been taught. Like,
I love character growth.
Yeah,
like, I'm all here for character growth.
But if you want to like bang right away, even though you know he is a person that kills other people. And
like, I also really like when like somebody being attracted, like physically attracted to someone else, even though it is physical attraction, it also is related to who they are. Like being close to them emotionally also makes them more attracted to them physically. Like I like that.
Yes.
And
yeah, like I'm not against knowing that they think each other is attractive. It's just like you have to have other stuff going on too.
Please.
Yeah. I recently read one of the contemporary romances I read recently is like the premise of the relationship is like their dynamic is that like one of them is this very like outgoing and bubbly and kind of like forgets to think before he speaks and like kind of embarrasses himself a lot of times because he's just like really talkative and it's just like a lot. And what he loves is like that the other person never makes him feel like he's too much, right? And never makes him feel stupid, even though other people are just like, what are you even talking about? You know? And I'm like, I love that. I also think you're a lot and kind of annoying, but like I appreciate that the person you found loves you. And it just, I don't know, I kind of went back and forth about like, because I ended up rating this book really highly, even though I found one of the characters annoying. But I was like, but also that's kind of like the premise of it is that other people find him annoying, and then he found the person who doesn't think he's annoying, and he doesn't make him feel annoying. And I'm like, that's beautiful. I still think he's annoying, but I'm glad he found somebody.
He found him.
And so I was like, good job. It deserves a high rating because I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I did like my favorite contemporary romance of 2025 was a book like that where the main female character, she was not a very likable character. She wasn't like mean, but she was very like overly assertive, like, you know,
abrasive kind of.
Yeah. And so like I'm like, I don't really want to be friends with you because you're kind of like off-putting to me. But he was like, yeah, strong woman, you like, you should be able to tell your opinions and all this stuff, and like was very supportive of her like expressing how she felt and like
That's great.
expressing her anger and her frustration. And I was like, there, see, she's like being loved for the thing that everybody else says that she needs to tone down. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I will say the thing that was more annoying, not just that he talked a lot, but he would create situations where he would like embarrass the person that he was with because he wouldn't like think before he spoke. And I was just like,
Yeah,
there's
that's hard.
there's a level where it's like, okay, this is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like being like really like outgoing and talkative and all that is not, I'm not saying like that's annoying. There was just like it reached a threshold where I was like, you
Right.
really need, like, you're an adult, you really need to think before you speak.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, well, this also, something I always think about with like people talking about books online is like, when you're reading a romance, do you self-insert into the story?
I think about that a lot too.
Because I don't. I am not imagining myself as part of the story. And so then a story like that, where I'm like, I find this one annoying, is not a problem because I don't need to be attracted to that person. I'm like, they are for each other. I'm happy for them.
Yeah. I think like I don't self-insert, but I think there is a level where like I need to be able to imagine being interested in this person, not necessarily
like,
that like
why
I
they like
would
each
wanna,
other.
right, but it's like even stuff where it's like this is purely personal preference. It has nothing to do with what kind of person you are or like anything like that. It's just like I do not find this attractive. Like weird example, but it's like, lumberjack romance was like a big thing, or like not
Was it?
literally
Okay.
lumberjack, not like literally, but like that type of hero I feel like
Okay.
was relatively popular from what I was seeing. This was like a couple years ago. That is not something I personally am into at all. And so I would not want to read a romance like that just because I would be distracted the whole time being like, but why do you like this? Like, and again, it's not anything to do with what kind of person somebody is. And if people are attracted to that, no shade whatsoever. I just knew that for me personally, I needed to have a little bit more similarity between the characters and somebody that I would be interested in, I guess, if that makes sense. So it's not a self-insert, but there is a little bit of like imagination that has to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think to a certain extent you have to be able to be like, well, I get why you would like this person. Not that I'm imagining myself, but I'm just like, sure. Like there are also ones, actually, this kind of maybe relates back to the point you were making about historical romance and being like, I don't want to watch this person discover she's a human. Like, you don't watch Bridgerton, do you?
I really don't. I like emphatically don't.
Oh my God. This most
You're not going to spoil it, are you?
Okay, I haven't finished it. I am in part 2 right now. I hate this season so much because Benedict is like infuriating to me, and it feels very much like you don't understand she's a person.
Yeah.
And anyway.
I haven't finished it, but so that's why I was like, my husband can probably hear. I'm like, don't say anything because we're watching it. I don't want.
Where are you in it?
We just watched I messed up. Sorry. We just watched the first episode of the second half.
Okay, that's about where I am. I think I might be like partway into the second episode. So like I'll only talk about things that happened in the first half. Also, I don't think this is even really spoilers. But like the thing is, I feel like
I know a little bit about the premise. It's like the mistress thing, right? Like
that's not even the thing I'm mad about, honestly. That's the thing other people are mad about. I'm like, I also think that's not great. But like I understand for the time period why he may have thought that was fine. But like they have done too good of a job convincing me that like Sophie is great. She is capable and practical and smart, and also but still maintains this feeling of wonder about the world, which is beautiful. Everybody likes her. Like she's great. Benedict is the most useless, incompetent man-child. I'm just like, if I'm watching, and also I'm like, at this point, I have to either decide, do I think he's the dumbest man alive, or is he maliciously ignorant? Because people have explained to him
Yeah.
why it is bad for him to be trying to seduce someone he employs, and how that puts her in a very vulnerable situation for her reputation.
And
And
wait,
he
so
keeps doing it.
I know. I
And
have
you-
the same thing.
you enjoy this show, Huck? It seems like
No.
Well,
Why
I
are you
feel like
watching it?
I feel like this season, even though I am not liking Benedict as well, I feel like the side plots are actually the best they've been in a couple seasons.
I don't care about the
So,
subplots this season.
I am really enjoying it because I'm enjoying some of the side plots a lot. But
See,
yeah,
I'm
like,
not
I wanna
invested in the
slap
side
him around.
plots. I'm not that into them. But oh my god, I hate Benedict so much. He's so terrible. And like, and this is the thing also, because I'm just like, I don't understand as a viewer, what am I supposed to be hoping for her?
Right.
Because at best, I'm like, am I supposed to be hoping that she marries this like useless man child, but at least she has a lot of money, so at least she's not the one who has to babysit him? Like, they can hire
Yeah.
people to do that. Like, that's
Yeah.
not a fantasy. That's like, what
Yeah.
is this?
I that's like a feeling I have gotten with quite a few romances that haven't worked for me. Is I'm like, my happy ending is that this woman never has to see this man again, and that's obviously not what she wants. Like there has been times I've read a book where I'm like, all right, I don't like this guy very much, but I love this female character. And it's kind of like when you have a friend who's like in a relationship with someone where it's like they're not like actively harmful or anything, but you're just like, you can do so much better, but I understand this is what you want, and I'm gonna try to be happy for you. There have been books like that, but there have also been a lot where I'm like, happy ending is she never sees him again. I never have to read about him again. Like, so I don't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I really have no interest in watching Bridgerton because I know that would be
And
my
I
feeling
don't-
constantly.
I don't understand why some people love Benedict and are so into this season, and I just am like, I do not understand how you're into this. It's infuriating to me at every step of the way.
The other thing I was gonna say when we were like the first time we were talking about like historical romance having like all this icky power imbalance stuff, like the other thing about that, like, okay, if you're making the argument, it's like, well, but for the time period that would be accurate. They viewed women like property, blah blah blah. That has not always been true. Like in every time period, there have been people who were like, hey, actually this is garbage. And so like if we're in a fantasy world enough that like every other man is like a wealthy duke who's also hot and also like, you know,
Bridgerton is fantasy. It's a fantasy.
Oh no,
world.
I wasn't even talking about Bridgerton. I was talking about like more generally speaking, just like historical romance books.
Yeah.
Like if we are already situating ourselves in that kind of setting, then having a man who views women as human beings is actually one of the more accurate things you could do. Like, there have always been people who knew better, like, for any time period, for any, like, ethical issue or societal issue. And so I don't understand why, like, collectively we are so, like, fixated on, like, but we have to treat women like garbage because history. Like, no. No, it's not required. Like, I promise. And I do think that there is value to having stories where it is done in a more subtle way. Like, I often really like that, where like I can see that the author is like putting characters in their like context in a way that like makes sense, where it's like I've read ones where like the male characters, this was actually a paranormal historical, the male characters were like, oh yeah, then go meet us at this tavern and we'll get together to like go fight the bad guy. And the young woman who's like helping them, she's like, are you like, I can't, like, are you stupid? Like, I can't just show up at this tavern with men I don't know. And they're like, oh yeah, I guess so. So I don't mind when there's like still some like learning that has to happen, but I just don't like when we start from the place of like, and he doesn't think she like deserves human rights at all. Like, not even a person.
Right. Yeah. I feel like recently, because I have been reading a lot of romance, and then also watching Bridgerton, and then also I saw a few different like video essays recently where people were talking about romantasy, which was very interesting. I thought a lot of things have come up about like, oh, and also because there's just I've been following a lot of like online discourse about heated rivalry. You know, I haven't
Mhm.
watched the show; I just read all the books, but
yeah.
it has kind of got me thinking a lot about like in romance, like what is like the fantasy that you are, because like it is a fantasy of a sort, no
Mhm.
matter what
Mhm.
genre that you're reading. Because there was this one person who was making a point of like in a lot of romances, the fantasy is like you find a man who can use patriarchy to protect you. That's the
Mhm.
fantasy. And I was like, I see, I can, that's interesting because I can see romances where I'm like, okay, I see where that's happening. That's not interesting. But a really interesting point that somebody made about, I think they were talking about romance in general, but it was particularly in the context of like, why is heated rivalry so popular? And because a lot of people are really, like, a lot of people, you know, from the outside kind of assume they're like, oh, it's just because there's a lot of like spice on scene, you know, or on
Mhm.
screen. And they're like, that's why people are so obsessed with it. And it's like, that's not why. And the person was saying the fantasy is not like the steamy scenes. The fantasy is getting your emotional needs met and finding somebody who's both willing and able to meet those needs. And like the steamy scenes also I'm sure people are enjoying, but that's not really the core of like what is the fantasy of this story and why people are so obsessed with it. And in a broader sense, that is kind of the fantasy of good romance, is the fantasy of getting your emotional needs met, which was like, that's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like I still maintain that despite having obviously no on-page spice, Pride and Prejudice is one of the sexiest books because there's nothing sexier than a man who apologizes and respects boundaries. like I love that at the end where he's like, I am like so in love with you, but if you're not into it, I will shut up about it and leave you alone forever. And I'm like, love it.
Yeah, and it's like I messed up, and so then I did these things to make it up to you and
Yeah.
to respect your family that I insulted.
Yeah. And it's like obviously part of the motivator is that he like wants to show her that he's better and that, you know, he wants to be good enough for her, but it's also like internal motivation of like, you know, I have always prided myself on being a good person, but if I don't treat people in a way that makes that clear, am I really that good of a person? So like I love that it's not solely based around like the romantic interest angle. So
Also,
yeah.
a starchy hero.
Love Search a Hero. It's true. Yeah. I'm with you.
I mean, honestly, I mean, as a spoiler for whenever I make my list of starchy heroes, Emmerich from Little Thieves, peak starchy hero. Like
I
that
love
is
him.
that's
I
like
love
the
him.
epitome of what I want in a starchy
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
He like checks all of the boxes of like
Yeah.
perfect.
I
And
love
also
them too. Like them together
what's that?
too.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
yes, and
And
them together. Yeah.
I was thinking about that relationship earlier when we were talking about like me being a hate to love like defender. That's the kind of thing I usually mean where it's like they're not personally nasty to each other. They're not like treating the other person like they're stupid or like they're not important. It's like there are very clear story and personality reasons why they butt heads immediately and constantly.
Yeah.
And so seeing them start to realize that they actually suit each other very well is so satisfying and so good. So that's usually the kind of thing when I'm like, you know, hate to love truther over here. It's I promise it's not all garbage. Like that's the kind of thing that I mean. I don't mean the stuff
Yeah.
where like two characters like we were talking about, two characters meet each other and it's like, wow, you could kill me right now. In fact, you want to kill me right now, but you are nice to look at. Like that
Right.
is
Be like, you don't think I'm a person, but
Yeah.
you are pretty.
Yep.
Well, and they also are like because of like kind of the demisexual kind of like vibe is that like they're not like they are attracted to each other, but they're also like the thought of kissing you is still kind of icky because I don't like you as a person yet. Like
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of overwhelming. Yeah. Yep.
like
Yeah.
that I'm not ready to go like anything like so it's like the instead
Yeah.
of it's like the opposite of the like I want to like and
Yeah. Feel like I'm
stuff
gonna jump
has to
you
be-
immediately, even though I think
Yeah.
you're terrible.
yeah
Yeah.
where they're like they have to like each other before they actually want
Yes. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
like that's another reason why I absolutely hate the fated mates trope. Like
Mhm.
I just cannot get on board with it. Like it takes everything I love about a romantic relationship and like completely takes it out of the equation. Like I want the writer, and I think Huck, you were kind of talking about something like this earlier. Like I want the writer to convince me why these two people are the only person for each other, but
Right. Yeah.
not because like destiny has decided. Like I want the story to convince me. I want the characters and like their interactions and their relationship. Like I want it to be unimaginable to picture them with someone else, not because magic or because like whatever equivalent of magic. So yeah, like I want, that's one of the reasons I love slow burn is like I want the time, I want like the like the development and the detail. Like I'm talking myself in circles now too, but you know what I mean. That's the good stuff. Why would you take out the good stuff? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I have a lot of opinions about romances, but I do probably have to head out soon.
I actually, yes, I was gonna just ask if we want to do a last quick project show off and then call it.
Sure.
I am almost halfway done with this dishcloth that I just started, so
Ooh,
that's cool.
nice.
Yeah, they're really nice break projects. I highly recommend if people haven't done them before. They're very basic, and they're also like the best things to wash dishes with that I have ever found. So useful and fun for brain. We do it all.
Yeah. I did not mark where I started, so I did some of this. I don't.
Indeterminate amount of knitting.
It's probably like that much or something.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but it's slightly longer than it was before.
Nice.
Great. Hold on, I gotta not be at a stitch marker. Yeah, I don't know. I made it more rows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I can tell. Yeah. Very cool.
Good.
It's getting wide enough now that it takes a while to get.
I know. You get to the part where it's like every round takes like 10 years, but we get there in the end.
Yeah.
All right. So I did already link Kelly and Huck in the description. Thank you for anyone who hung out with us for a bit or who watches this later. We love doing these. Huck and Kelly, thank you as always for joining me for our crafts and chats.
Thanks for hosting.
Yeah. I love that we do this. Anything you guys want to add before we sign off?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I need to get around to editing, and then I'll have 2 videos up if I edit them.
Oh well,
Boy,
I guess
the
I
eternal struggle.
I just posted my first year of knitting wrap up. If anyone's interested in like everything that I knit in my first year, so there's a lot of reflection on the year of knitting.
Introspection plus knitting. Like
I can recommend it. Thumbs up.
Things.
I watched it yesterday.
I give it my official thumbs up. Also, she will call you out on things you said in it, Huck.
Yep.
Hey, I was thinking about this. There's a difference, though, between, to me at least, between things where it's like there is a picture or a design like in it versus something that is mostly solid with like essentially the equivalent of like embroidery on it.
Like
that is different. Yes. And so doing the duplicate stitching like this is more like putting embroidery on it.
Okay. Then yes.
It's different.
Go for it. Do it.
It's really funny.
I'm just trying to justify my choices, okay?
Words.
I am justifying my choices.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well, Thank you guys. Thank you everybody else. And we hope to see you next month. So I feel you guys have been really great. You and Huck and Kelly have been great about keeping us on like a monthly schedule. And so I deeply appreciate that. So thank you to our calendar folks who are like,
That's just a walking calendar. This is. I'm not going to start a whole other
no,
conversation.
perfectly square month. Perfectly square month.
No.
Or rectangular, yes.
I saw a conversation between these people who were like, do you keep a calendar? Or do you just remember when you have to do stuff? And people being like baffled in either direction, which is hilarious to me, because I don't keep a calendar at all. I just remember when I have to do stuff, which is also hilarious because I have a terrible memory.
I'm like somewhere in the middle, and it does not work for me, and I don't recommend it. worst combination. Like I do generally a pretty good job of putting like the really important things. Like I have one of my cats has a vet appointment coming up, and that's in an actual calendar, so I remember details about when. But a lot of other things, it's like a combination of I mean to put it on the calendar, but maybe I forget, or I do write it down, but I don't know where like it's not good. Not good.
Yeah, I just write reminders to myself. I don't like use a calendar, and then I just remember things. And I have a calendar. When I was working for my job, I had like a work calendar because I would have like meetings and deadlines. But like for my life, I also, this is the other thing, is I also depends on how busy you are, because I am intentionally not a very busy person. I don't like being busy. I don't like having a lot of things to do. And so I'm like, this week I have like 2 things to do. I can remember that.
Right. And I'm at my limit. No more. Yeah. I'm the same.
I think it's also you don't have like, I think having kids is different because
like my mom always had a calendar with like everybody's schedules in it when we were kids and stuff. I'm like, that's very different.
Yeah, I think that because that was, I don't feel like I did as much of a calendar before I had kids, but now it's like I've got like 4 people's schedule I have to like know.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
And usually the mom is the one keeping everybody on on track.
I do have a calendar reminder for when to give Merlin his flea and tick medication.
That's my
one.
You got the important
my one calendar reminder.
The only thing I will say in my own defense is like I am actually very good at keeping track of which things I like actually need on it. Like for example, if I have a Zoom meeting and I know like what week it is, and I know like I'll know where to go to check what day it is. Do you know what I mean? Like that is a lot of times what I'll do rather than having it on a separate calendar. That said, I do need to get better about doing a separate calendar, but I'm not a complete mess. I just wanted you guys to know. Just a little bit.
Well, obviously I am a mess because I don't keep a calendar. I just write notes to myself. So.
I mean, I do that too, though. Like notes counts as like keeping track of stuff if it works.
Yeah, but it's not a calendar.
Okay. You should put a number on it, and then it is a calendar.
I do write the date on there if I have to do something a specific day.
It's just like having like a full breakdown over here. Like, no. I know. All right. Well, now that you know how disorganized I am, in some ways, I will let everybody go, and we will see you next month. Okay. Bye.